Just watch.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't. She'd think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month.
Yeah.
A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining. And if all the guys who did PayPal, like Elon knows this by heart, right? Anybody who's been in the payment system and the process system knows the easiest way to find the fraudster is to stop payments and listen.
Yeah.
Because whoever screams is the one stealing.
We are back with Michelle and with Eddie. People earned those checks. They put into a system, and that system is then supposed to come back to them in old age when they need it. What part of that is hard to understand?
Yeah. I mean, there's a calloused heart. I mean, when we think about Social Security, we're talking about baseline values, our responsibility to our elderly, to the folk who have made us possible. What's motivating this? What are we being asked to consent to? That kind of mean-spiritedness, his mother-in-law is good because he's a billionaire. But what about those folks who have to pay rent, who have to put food on the table, who have to make sure that they can get their medicines that day? What are we to make of folk who have worked hard all their lives with their hands, right? And now have the comfort of old age and the security of that check coming in every month, but they wouldn't be worried about the life. Of course not. We're in a new Gilded Age, right? We're in a new Gilded Age where the fat cats can behave and respond in that way, and it's so mean-spirited that we need to ask ourselves, what are we consenting to when they attack something like a Social Security?
You have a brand new piece out about this.
Yeah, it's going to drop tomorrow. I mean, when you talk about this is something that people have earned. This administration seems to see this as excessive largesse, that this is, that people are just on the dole.
Right.
No, you've earned this. Take a look at your paycheck. That FICA deduction goes to, that goes to the credits that go towards your Social Security that you will get in old age, but also, God forbid something should happen to you.
Great reminder, yep.
God forbid something should happen to you. Your babies, your children can then draw upon your Social Security so they can make it into their adulthood. If you are disabled, we take care of people based on the credits that they have earned. This is not largesse. This is something that people have earned. And the reason that it is seen as the third rail is because most people know if you touch this, you get torched. This is not something that you're willing to touch. But even though he said he's not going to touch Social Security, because they've said that they're going to cut 20% of the federal budget, you can't get there in the way that they're doing this, with a little cut here, a little cut there.
You can do math.
You can do the math. So they're probably going to go after Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. The other reason that they're probably interested in it is because Elon Musk is part of the tech community and data has its own currency. And so that is a trove of personal data that probably is of interest to them. But the other reason is because they conflate need with weakness and wealth with strength. And they are not compassionate about the people who need this, but who've earned it. And I guess I want to stop myself from saying people who need this. For the Democrats, this is bad news for America if they go after this. I don't want to say it's good news for Democrats, but it is a fat pitch right over the plate to actually, ammunition to wage the fight of their lifetime to protect this. Because it's not about what people need. It is what they have earned. They have earned this. This belongs to them. And there is already a concern about insolvency. That's the question that we should be dealing with, is how to keep Social Security alive for the next generation, not how to raid the cupboard to help the fat cats.
But the thing is, that the insolvency question has nothing, they don't want to get taxed. That's all you need to do to make Social Security solvent, is to tax me for the entire 12 months of my working life, just to move up so that when they stop taxing us at a certain point when we reach the cap,
$154,000, you just push that out.
Just to do it for, my sister has to pay it 12 years. I don't, right? That's all I need to do. But they don't want to do that because they're selfish. They're greedy. They only care about them. They only care about themselves and their immediate tribe. What are the values that animate this place, right? And so are we going to concede to these greedy folk who want to leave elderly people out to dry.
But it's not just elderly people. Just to pick up one thing, it's all of us.
It's all of us.
Because fundamentally, the question that we are going to have to answer in the next few months is, if they want these tax cuts for billionaires, then what is the pain that the rest of us are willing to absorb in order to allow them to have those tax cuts?
And you know what? And the interesting thing about it is that they used to tell us a lie, that if we cut their taxes, it will trickle down to us.
Still waiting.
We have lived since 1980 with that lie. We have evidence, piled upon evidence, that it's not true. And so I'm waiting for us to have that argument about what are the baseline values that define our relation to each other, because it's in stark contrast right now. You have people like him who said people wouldn't worry if they don't get their checks, or if they do, they're fraudsters. And then you have folk like my mother, my father, and folk that we know who need their checks, right, and the like.
But this is communal pain.
Who've earned their checks.
So, you know, when you talk about the immediate tribe, immediate is the operative word there. Because, you know, when I travel around the country and talk to people, I was just on the road talking to a group of Republicans who said, wait a minute. Social Security, I'm not sure that I feel good about this, because it's not just your mama. It's their mama, too. It's not just somebody else. This hits home, and this hits home in a way that will make people very uncomfortable.
It's fascinating, Michelle. I was reading Nothing Personal by James Baldwin, written in 1964, and he says, when we allow certain people in our community to be menaced, it's only a matter of time before we are menaced.
And on that note, when we return, as much as Donald Trump says he wants the war in Ukraine to end, Vladimir Putin has very different ideas. How Moscow is taking advantage of